Some thoughts now on this past week. Did the insurrection really end on January 6th, or is it still happening in front of our eyes? It's been more than 4 months since the Capitol riot, but the truth of what happened that day is still under siege.
There was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a bold-faced lie. Watching the TV footage of those who entered the Capitol and walked through Statuary Hall showed people in an orderly fashion staying between the stanchions and ropes taking videos and pictures. You know, if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
Tourists? I'm sorry. These tourists did not come in on Segways. They came in with zip ties and bear spray. They broke down doors, busted through windows, attacked police officers, chanted "Hang Mike Pence," and sent lawmakers running for their lives. There were lines at gas stations across much of the Washington, D.C. area this week, but there was plenty to go around up on Capitol Hill. No shortages there. The gaslighting was on full blast.
It was Trump supporters who lost their lives that day, not Trump supporters who were taking the lives of others.
Okay, at 2:07, a mob of Trump supporters breached the steps. I don't know who did a poll that is Trump supporters. You had the media saying the same thing.
Did he say poll? Did he mean the polls the pro-Trump rioters used to beat up the cops? The insurrectionists were easy to spot that day. They were wearing those Trump hats, shirts. They were carrying Trump flags. Well, there were other flags that day, and federal law enforcement officials, they have identified scores of Trump-loving suspects. It was his mob that stormed the Capitol. 5 people died. 140 officers were injured because of them. Remember Officer Michael Fanone? He was dragged down the stairs, beaten, and tased as one rider screamed, "I got one."
I got one! Easy.
The cops know who carried out the attack. By waging a war on these facts, these lawmakers are taking the side of the lawbreakers. So much for backing the blue.
Those are lies. And peddling that bullshit is an assault on every officer that fought to defend the Capitol. It's disgraceful.
And yet somehow the House Minority Leader still managed to say this with a straight face.
I don't think anybody is questioning the legitimacy of the presidential election. I think that is all over with.
McCarthy, who has ambitions of becoming Speaker of the House, is engaged in a cover-up that's as bad as the crime. Nobody's questioning the legitimacy, he says. Nobody except the 147 Republicans, including McCarthy himself, who voted to overturn the election results. Nobody except the Republicans leading a sham recount in Arizona, or the politicians in dozens of states pushing laws making it harder to vote. Nobody except the former president, who just Monday compared our free and fair election to a thief robbing a jewelry store. You remember him. He now has a blog. He crashes weddings, sort of like me in the late 90s.
They just say, "Do you miss me yet?" They said, "Get 66 million votes, sir, and the election's over." Well, I got 75 million, and they said, "But you know, you saw what happened. 10:30 in the evening, all of a sudden they said, that's a strange thing. Why are they closing up certain places?" Right? A lot of things happening right now.
Say what you want about Liz Cheney, but she had the courage to speak out against the big lie. and then she got canceled by Kevin McCarthy, the same aspiring Speaker of the House who aligned himself with GOP colleagues who were too busy tweeting with zero irony, "mission accomplished." If you're too young, Google it. Or trying to get in these other dumb, sick burns. Here's another chance, guys, to listen to what Cheney was saying.
Every one of us who has sworn the oath must act to prevent the unraveling of our democracy. Remaining silent and ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. I will not participate in that. I will not sit back and watch in silence while others lead our party down a path that abandons the rule of law and joins the former president's crusade to undermine our democracy.
It's pretty simple. The insurrectionists betrayed this country on January 6th, and some Republicans in the House have been betraying it ever since by denying the truth. Remember the congressman a few moments ago who said the rioters were just tourists? Well, here's a photo. That same congressman in a barricaded chamber that same day. This isn't about bullshit. It's about betrayal, betraying your country. And as long as the big lie lives on, the insurrection hasn't really ended. That's because this is a war on the truth. It's a war.